Hey everybody, it's Allie Edwards and welcome back to December Daily 2024. I am working on story number 5. Here's a little peek at what story number 4 was yesterday. So today, one of the things I talked about yesterday was when I originally put this particular foundation page together, I wasn't sure if I was going to end up putting something on the back here, like a circle or something. But because of the way I ended up doing these ornaments where I had added this on there and then have it this part facing to the front and have the colors facing to the back, I'm just going to leave it like that. I think that looks good. So for today, what I wanted to do was something pretty simple. I wanted to tell a story about the weather. I've been talking about that in a couple different lives that I've been on and stuff. So I have a picture that I took the other night actually out my bedroom window, and it's really foggy and it was just dark and cold and felt like it would be a good representation of right now. So I'm pulling out a couple items from the main kit. I'm kind of thinking about using this die cut piece here, this tag die cut, somewhere on here, potentially on the top, maybe having a little ornament that is also added on here, that maybe I'll put the number 5 on there, and then that's probably going to be it. So I'm going to go with something really simple for today. It's nice to have breaks in your album for simplicity, but also just kind of a resting space. I got a lot of stuff going on this year. Some years are like that, right? A lot of stuff happening in my album. I got a lot of pieces. I got a lot of elements, which I love, and it feels fun, but it's also nice to just kind of have a resting place. It's like a little bit of breathing room. And then that will bring me into story number 6, and then I can use this page protector for story 6 and can add some probably additional photos or journaling or something in there that I'm going to worry about tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this out. This is a full page, 7 by 8.25, and then I'm going to build a little bit on top. All right, first step here is trimming out my photo. This is a photo I printed here at home on my Epson XP 15000 printer. It's the same printer that I've had, I think now since like 2019 for my oversized prints. It can print up to 13 by 19. Great printer, really like it. This is a 6-hole punch that will get the holes right in the right place to be able to add this into my album. And then at this point in the process, I'm kind of just trying to decide what elements do I want to use here. I had pulled that tag out from the main kit, the kind of diamond shape one, but then I wanted to look at one of these scalloped green tags that we had. They're close to 3x4 or can fit in a 3x4 pocket. And then I was kind of like, yeah, maybe I want to do that. And all along I'm trying to think, do I want this to sit right on top of my photo, or do I want to potentially cut a slit in the photo to be able to tuck my tag in there? I have done that before, and I did see Jenny do that the other day. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, on one of her reels, where she also cut a slit into the photo to be able to tuck, creating a pocket inside the photo itself, essentially, is what she was doing. And so as I was working through this, I decided that was probably going to be the best solution for me too. I've done different things before. I've done things where I have added a clear pocket onto the front of a photo. That's another thing you could do if you didn't want to make a slit in the photo, which is what I'm going to do right here. I made mine a couple inches wide, just a little bit wider than the tag itself. The other thing that you just saw me pull out was a white plastic word, and that's from I think the most recent One Little Word mini kit, and it has the word fax on it. And I just kind of liked that as a little additional thing hanging from the ornament, but also related to talking about the weather, right? It's a very fact-based kind of thing, talking about the weather. So you can see now that I've got the slit in there. I'm adding a Puffy number 5, the gold number 5, and my plan is that I'm going to attach all of those pieces together with the black and white twine that is sitting on the table. I'm going to use my Crocodile again to just punch a small hole into the vellum ornament and the word fax at the same time, and then I'm kind of just looking at that. I'm going to take care of the back of this in just a minute, which will make it so that the tag stays in the right place. I'm going to put the word fog on here because that is what has been happening in the evenings in terms of our weather. As I was telling the story, I was thinking a little bit about my mom's December dailies, and I know many of you that have been around for a while have seen hers. I've shared them on YouTube and on the blog, and talking about the weather or what's happening, those basics, those are the sorts of stories that she fills her December dailies with, and I love them for that. They're simple. She often uses pockets. She does some big photos too, but it's just talking about the basic stuff that her and my dad are doing and experiencing in this season of their life, and I love keeping that in mind as I am working on my own project and thinking about some of those very basic everyday kinds of stories that aren't necessarily Christmas related, but that they are capturing the season. I'm using a pen to go ahead and write a little bit of journaling on here. I also added in a plus sign. I do that often to replace the word and I used a thin Posca paint pen to do that in red. I'm also going to use a rolling date stamp here in a minute to add the date on there. I don't always do that. Obviously, I have the number 5 for story number 5. Sometimes I put the date, sometimes I don't. This time, I just felt like I wanted to, partly because I wanted to get another little hint of red on there. I liked adding in the red plus sign and then being able to stamp with the red ink along the bottom there. That just made me feel good. So when I am running this twine through, I folded it over in half, and I am running the folded portion through each of the different elements, and then I am pulling tightly there to have it in place, have a little spot. As I tucked the tag into the pocket, there's a couple different ways you can go with it. I kind of liked it when it was sitting up a little bit where you could see the word fog, and that is actually where I end up placing it. I'm going to pull out a large roll of foam tape that I have, and I'm going to place this right along the bottom, right where I want the tag to stop. Now, tomorrow's story, the next story that I tell, will probably have a full page photo as well, and I will just adhere that full page photo to the back of this, and that foam tape there will just keep the tag in place. So you can decide where you want it. Maybe you only wanted the little scallops to poke up, or you want a title or something else as well. I also decided I wanted to add one more element onto my little cluster of things on the twine. So I cut up one of the perforated phrase strips. This is the one that says photographic evidence. I'm going to punch a little hole there, and I'm going to add it to my little cluster of tags. Again, goal today was to have a simple story, give a resting place in the album, and still give myself an opportunity to have, play around with a few embellishments here and get a little story told about kind of the basics of what's happening here in December. Love that it can tuck right in there, has its own little home. It's a good solution for today. So lots of different little pieces you could take from this, whether it's documenting the weather, whether it's cutting into a photo, using the tags, creating a little cluster, lots of different options for your own storytelling. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you guys back here again tomorrow.